This presentation is copyright protected, which is detailed on the last slide. Winter snowfall is our ally as snow and ice professionals, but Mother Nature's fury of winter storms can test the limit of people and machines. Have your equipment ready before a first snowfall by performing a pre-season maintenance inspection. This is imperative to ensure equipment uptime while also relieving you of any worries when that first storm hits. This presentation will give you some simple guidelines to make sure your spreader is ready for whatever winter can throw at it. Prior to beginning maintenance and/or repair, please review your vehicle and spreader manufacturers, owners, and installation manuals for important safety procedures and guidelines. With the hopper spreader in the upright position, lubricate the bed chain and check that it is set to the appropriate tension. To check the chain tension, grasp the bed chain and look for approximately 1 to 3 inches of chain deflection while pushing back and forth. If the conveyor chain of the spreader requires adjustment, first loosen the bearings from the sill. Then loosen the jam nut on the take-up bolts. To tighten the spreader chain, tighten the take-up bolts. If less tension is required, loosen the take-up bolt to provide slack in the conveyor chain. Once the desired deflection is achieved, retighten the bearings and the jam nuts. Once the hopper spreader is in the vehicle, you will then need to attach the chute. Having the chute installed will help ensure that there is enough clearance at the rear of the vehicle. For pickup trucks, it is recommended to construct a spacer to place between the front sill of the spreader and the bed of the vehicle. This will help prevent the hopper spreader from shifting forward while plowing. Now that the spreader is properly positioned, it is ready to be bolted down. Do not rely on tie downs alone to secure the spreader. We require that the hopper spreader be bolted to the frame of the vehicle. Please see the OEM bodybuilder manual for specific manufacturer guidelines. Make sure that all bearings are greased on the spreader and the chute to ensure proper operation during the season. It is recommended that the bearings and chains be lubricated before each use. Change the gear oil in the gearbox annually to prevent the buildup of moisture in the gearbox. Use Mobil SHC 632 or Exxon SHP 320 or equivalent gear oil to ensure proper operation of the gearbox. Check the drive motor chain to make sure that it is lubricated and that it is set to the proper tension. The drive motor chain should have a 1/4 inch of deflection. To adjust the chain tension, loosen the motor bolts and slide the motor to loosen or tighten the chain. Once the desired deflection is achieved, retighten the motor bolts and verify that there is sufficient clearance between the gearbox and drive motor sprockets. Under the hood of the vehicle, verify that the power cables are installed directly to the battery. Inspect the battery terminals and verify that the connections are not loose or corroded. If necessary, disconnect the battery cables and clean the terminals and apply dielectric grease before reinstallation. For best results, use Fisher part number 8329K dielectric grease from your local Fisher supplier. Next, inspect the 100 amp fuse and apply dielectric grease to the terminals. If the fuse is found to be blown, then further diagnostics is required and the spreader should be taken to an authorized dealer. Inspect all harnesses to ensure they are well secured and remain away from hot or moving vehicle components. At the rear of the vehicle, inspect that the electrical harnesses are routed free from sharp edges, moving parts, and a heat source. All connectors need to be checked for damage or corrosion. Use electrical contact cleaner to remove all debris and old dielectric before reapplying new grease. In season, reapply dielectric grease after each use. Inspect the spreader electrical connections to ensure that they are tight and free of corrosion. Use and apply light oil to any non-stainless components. Now that the unit has been installed and inspected, the hopper spreader should be test run. Start the vehicle and turn the spreader control on. The unit should flash a series of 2 beeps. This indicates that the unit is empty. If the controller communicates a different code, then further diagnostics will be required. Please see the owner's manual for troubleshooting information. Verify that the center high-mounted stoplight is functioning and that the lids and feed gate adjustments operate smoothly. Fisher products are designed and built to last. Following recommended maintenance procedures will ensure that the product will function as designed and provide trouble-free operation year after year. The following are registered or unregistered trademarks of Douglas Dynamics LLC: Fisher and Polycaster.